folks, my name is Sarah and I'm a lead mountaineering guide here for St. Elias Alpine Guides, and just like everybody else I am under orders to stay at home, and so I've been utilizing this time to work on my knots, my rope work skills, kind of anything that I can do in the house to keep myself busy. And so I thought it would be interesting and fun to teach you all how to build and carry a Kiwi Coil, which is something that we use in mountaineering when we're traveling across snow-covered glaciers and have to rope up as a team to catch each other if we were to pop through a crack and go under a crevasse. So without further ado, here's the Kiwi Coil. So I'm all tied into the end of the rope, and you're going to want to take this end of the rope and you're going to be looping it around your neck and building your coils. I'm right-handed, so I like to take my loop and run it over the left side of my neck. And then I take my thumb of my left hand and I put it in the belay loop of my harness, and this just gives me a really good size and a gauge on how to build my coils. When you have really neat coils, it makes it a lot easier to travel, you're getting tangled up less, and it's just a lot safer overall. So loop up and over my neck, I've got my thumb of my left hand through the belay loop of my harness, and now I'm just building coils, wrapping it between my hand and up behind my neck. Now the number of coils that you're going to take in depends on how far separated you want to be from the other individuals on your rope team. So that can really vary. I often am carrying anywhere between 5 and 12 would be on the large end. So now I've got all my coils built. They're nice and uniform, nice and organized. And the next step in the process is for me to take my right hand and put it through the loop. So now I have going with my right shoulder inside the loops and having them resting on my left shoulder. And as you can see from my harness, the rope is going right up to my neck, and then the tail to my buddies is coming out along my right hip. The next step in the process is for me to take this tail coming out on the right side and to put it in my left hand. And now what we're going to do next is we're going to finish off a knot that goes around the coils and holds them tightly, and then I'm going to be able to clip that off to my harness. So take the strap that leads to my buddies, put it in my left hand, and then I'm going to take my right hand and I'm going to do what the guides at SEAG like to call a high Napoleon. So everyone knows Napoleon was always seen pictured like this, and so that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to take a right hand and we're going to put it under all of the coils, any of the ropes up here, and stick it through the other side, because it's going to receive the rope from my left hand, and I'm going to pull it back through. And I'm pulling through a loop. This is what we like to call a bite in climber terminology. So I did my high Napoleon, got a bite in my right hand, and I'm going to take that and I'm going to pass that back off to my left hand, because now it's time for a low Napoleon. So I'm going to take my right hand and I'm going to put it through everything that's coming out below my coils, which is the knot that leads to my harness and the tail that leads to my friends. So I put my right hand through anything below the coils with my low Napoleon, and I'm going to take this bite and I'm going to put it right back in that right hand and pull it through. So now I've made this fancy little loop around my coils with 2 of these strands. And to finish her off, the next thing you want to do is take this bite and you want to go up and then down through these 2 loops. It's really tempting to shoot right through here and do what we call a half hitch, but when you go up and then back down through, we're actually doing a full overhand knot around our coils, and that's going to be a lot more stable when they get pulled. So made this beautiful little overhand knot around my coils, and I still have my loop, and that's what I'm going to clip off back to my harness using a second locking carabiner. And so what I'm doing here is I'm tying off this knot that's not going to slide, and so if my buddies do fall into a crack and I have to catch them, the knot is going to stop any type of tension that they're putting into the line. And what I don't want is for my buddy to fall into a crack and for all these coils to cinch down around my neck. So by doing this nice overhand knot, you can see I can tug on this real good, and it's only making this knot around my coils tighter. And when you look at the finished product, it's pretty good. My coils are nice and regular. They're not going to get tangled up. If I want to adjust the length between me and the distance between me and my partners, I can pull a couple coils off and then rebuild the knot around them. If I want to stop and take a break, take my backpack off, I don't have to undo the whole thing. I can easily just pull them off of my neck and let them dangle over a knee while I can do any of the any of the personal maintenance that needs done. And then I can just very carefully keep them all in line and pop them back over my shoulder. So that's all I got here on the Kiwi Coil. I hope it's helpful, and maybe it'll give you guys something to practice in your houses as well. See ya.